We rebuild from the frame up, which means your rebuilt machine is like new. We offer machine rebuilds, upgrades, and retrofits that keep your machines current with the latest technology, as well as extend the useful life of your capital asset. When your machine is delivered to Nordco for rebuild services, a series of carefully organized steps take place. First, your machine is moved into one of our teardown bays, where we systematically evaluate the machine and all its components. We look at wear levels on mechanical components. We examine the frame. After the evaluation is complete, we're able to determine which components must be replaced and which can be overhauled or updated. First, your machine is moved into one of our teardown bays where we prepare for removing all the major machine components. All the fluids including hydraulic, engine, brake, fuel, and transmission are drained. After the appropriate systems are flushed, any related hosing is removed. The operator cap is then unbolted and lifted off the machine. This is followed by the fuel tank, which is also unbolted and lifted off the machine. The underlying hydraulic system is then dismantled. First, the hydraulic hoses are removed and then the hydraulic controls are taken off the machine. After all connections to the engine are detached, the engine is released from its mountings and raised off the machine. This is followed by the removal of the wheels. Finally, the workhead assemblies are taken apart as much as possible. The remaining sections of the assemblies are then disconnected from the frame and removed. All the removed parts and components are evaluated, particularly the wear levels on mechanical components. After the evaluation is complete, we are able to determine which components must be replaced and which can be overhauled or updated. The parts that must be replaced are discarded or sent for recycling. The components that are slated for overhaul are sent to the appropriate department or vendor to complete this process. Any parts that can be reused, as is, are carefully stored awaiting the rebuild process. The frame is then moved to our wash bay. It's thoroughly power washed so that every inch of the frame can be carefully inspected, particularly at each welded area. An experienced frame expert examines and evaluates the frame for weaknesses and defects. Areas of the frames that should be repaired or removed are replaced and marked. Blue for sections that should be removed, white for sections that should be removed and replaced with updated section, and green for sections that should be repaired. The frame is then sandblasted so that any additional cracks or weaknesses can be located. The areas that need to be removed are cut out and all repairs to cracks and welds are made. Finally, the frame is repainted. When the freshly re-welded and repainted frame is ready, it's placed in one of our assembly bays and the process of rebuilding begins. A rebuild process that mirrors our new machine build process exactly. The first step is to put the intricate hydraulic system into place, using all new hosing and manifolds. The electrical system follows, using all new wiring and incorporating any technology changes that have occurred since the machine was originally built. New pneumatic components are installed. Fuel tanks, air conditioning, and other major components are attached to the machine and connected. The main wheels using rebuilt axles are lifted onto the machine and bolted into place. The new engine is then placed in position, bolted onto the frame, and the appropriate connections are made. The workhead assemblies are completely rebuilt using new, heavy-duty and redesigned components, including a new tie gripper manifold. These workhead assemblies are lifted onto the frame and set into place. The assemblies are attached to the electrical and hydraulic systems that will control their usage. Finally, the newer rebuilt operator cab is positioned on the frame and bolted into place. All the operator controls are connected to the electrical and hydraulic systems as well. After the machine has been completely reassembled, it moves to our test track and is thoroughly tested, as well as being put through field hardening tests. When and only when we determine that your machine is in perfect working order, we ship your like-new machine back to you.